If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
This is another abhorrent example of the border crisis over the past 4 years, and it again exemplifies why the administration must continue and will always continue to fully back and support ICE and Border Patrol and law enforcement in their removal of illegal alien criminals from our country. For those who don't know, and all of you should report on it, 4 Americans were tragically killed and lost their lives this week yet again from an illegal alien, an individual who was paroled into the country by the Biden administration using the CBP One app, which they created like it was a magic pass for Disneyland. That's not how immigration in this country should work. And this illegal alien from Kyrgyzstan was traveling on an Indiana highway, and he failed to brake for a slowed semi-truck in front of him. He swerved into the lane, and he crashed into a van carrying 15 passengers, and 4 people were killed in that crash. This is another tragedy that could have been prevented if not for the wide open borders from the previous administration. That's why we now have a secure border. That's why this administration will continue to deport illegal aliens from our country.
That was Caroline Levitt. It is Thursday. I can't believe how quickly this week is going. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, that was Indiana, where this other tragic incident took place. In Virginia, the new governor there, Abigail Spanberger, is now making sure that state law enforcement agencies no longer cooperate with ICE. Virginia is turning into a radical leftist state within weeks of this woman taking office. She's blaming the tactics and training of ICE. Republicans in Richmond, Virginia, warning, hey, this is going to hurt the citizens of Virginia. But Democrats do not care if Americans get hurt. They haven't cared. When is the last time that you actually saw an elected Democrat say, you know what, American safety should come first over our quest to retain power by keeping illegal immigrants in the country? When's the first time? There are some other stories that I really do want to get to today. I had some yesterday, I didn't. Karen Bass. I'm reaching for the LA Times story. I have a follow-up story on it today from yesterday. Bass directed watering down of Palisades fire after action report. So after the big Palisades fires there last year, there was a report. What happened? The after action report. Now, for the last 2 months, Karen Bass has been denying that she was involved in making sure that that report was altered to downplay the failures by the city and by Los Angeles Fire Department in combating that out-of-control fire that took so many homes and damaged so much property, and there were deaths. 2 sources with knowledge of Bass's office, say the Los Angeles Times, said that after receiving an early draft, the mayor told then interim fire chief Ronnie Villanueva that the report could expose the city to legal liability for those failures that were mentioned inside the report. So she wanted key findings removed or softened before the report became public, and that is what happened. So she watered down, afraid that the city would be held liable. She, according to the LA Times reporting, said, no, that if you report what really happened, you might open up the city to more lawsuits. Now, apparently, she's pushing back on it. Speaking of reports, she's saying that the reporting from the LA Times isn't correct. It's her position. Speaking of reports, there is another report that's out here. And that report warns, let me just read you the headline from a Fox News story this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Watchdog releases scathing report on Tlaib's alleged ties to terrorist group, warning of potential risk. A comprehensive new briefing document from a prominent nonpartisan research and policy group is sounding the alarm on serious ethical and national security concerns related to Democratic. I always say Democrat. They like it when they call themselves Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib, after her affiliations with individuals and organizations linked to designated foreign terrorist entities. The conduct of Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, including her rhetoric, affiliations, campaign infrastructure, and ideological alignment with certain individuals and organizations, raises serious concerns about potential risk to the ethical and institutional integrity of the United States government. This report was released by the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policies Advocacy and Policy-Oriented Arms. So, you have a major, well-respected, nonpartisan. They have no partisan gripes whatsoever. And they have issued a report questioning if Rashida Tlaib, well, they say she has ties to some, or now we happen to have, cut 12, we happen to have a cut of Rashida Tlaib today. It's going to start abruptly, I'm warning you. She was on the House floor delivering a very, very impassioned speech. We have 2 minutes of it. I'll probably not listen to the whole 2 minutes. You'll get the drift within the first few seconds. And here is Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib.
That's what the American people are doing right now in the streets of America. That's what they're using to protect themselves. Whistles and their cameras. That's what they're doing against a fascist army. Speaker Johnson says, quote, ICE is doing what ICE is designed to do. That's what he said. How many more of our neighbors have to be executed? How many more of our neighbors have to be killed? I refuse to send another dollar to the Department of Homeland Security.
Wait a minute. Stop it right there. She just asked the question, how many more of our neighbors have to be killed? You have that Caroline Levitt cut. Yeah, the one that we opened the show with. Let's start that Rashida thing again. And let's just listen to this one more time and have that Caroline Levitt cut ready to go.
That's what the American people are doing right now in the streets of America. That's what they're using to protect themselves. Whistles and their cameras. That's what they're doing against a fascist army. Speaker Johnson says, quote, ICE is doing what ICE is designed to do. That's what he said. How many more of our neighbors have to be executed? How many more
This is another abhorrent example of the border crisis over the past 4 years, and it again exemplifies why the administration must continue and will always continue to fully back and support ICE and Border Patrol and law enforcement in their removal of illegal alien criminals from our country. For those who don't know, and all of you should report on it, 4 Americans were tragically killed and lost their lives this week yet again from an illegal alien, an individual who was paroled into the country by the Biden administration using the CBP-1 app, which they created like it was a magic pass for Disneyland. That's not how immigration in this country should work.
Yes, Rashida Tlaib. How many more indeed? How many more of our neighbors? How many more American citizens have to be killed before you Democrats allow ICE and the Homeland Security Department to do their jobs? How many more have to be killed, Rashida? Because you certainly don't care about the Americans that are losing their lives at the hands of illegal immigrants. Okay, let's see. We've got other things. By the way, Trump is at the prayer breakfast this morning. Boy, he went after Thomas Massey. But he also, there's going to be a national day of prayer, inviting people to Washington for a national day of prayer in May. You know what that's like to liberals when they hear that. You might as well, you know how people put their fingers in a cross to sort of ward off the vampires? Yeah. That's what that's like for the left, some members of the left. A national day of prayer. I can't wait for the howling to start on that one. Let's see. There has been, Did you hear the latest from the Epstein files? What files? You didn't hear the latest. Okay. Let me share with you the latest. Folks, I got to just tell you, I've been... Here's the story. You can find it in the Daily BS today. Bet you didn't know this. Bombshell. Obama's White House legal counsel gave Epstein written advice on having sex with minors. Ooh. The more the curtain gets pulled back on Jeffrey Epstein's elite social web, the harder it is to ignore where the trail seems to lead. Now, what it is in written advice, I mean, this legal counsel. Let me just read you some of the dialogue in what was uncovered here. Bet you didn't hear that, did you? Obama's legal counsel. Epstein, quote, had sex with people for money. Why is that not prostitution? And what I pled guilty to. For every massage a person got, she was paid money. No girl came to the house to learn math. Does sex for money change the equation? There was a massage person every day. Some turned out to be younger than others. Some as old as 60. I'll explain when I see you. Kathy. I think the point is if that she was underage, she could not legally consent to engaging in prostitution. Epstein. She claims Dersh is overage. Who? I'm not going to ask. Kathy. But if she claims she was coerced into it when underage, then any consent given when of age is probably not valid as a legal matter. Epstein. She says she received money, nothing else. And the woman that said, I just saying, all this stuff was supposed to be about Trump. And these millions of pages that have been released don't seem to have a thing to do about Donald Trump. In fact, you've got people resigning all over the place. And let me see, America's small caffeinated mom just texted me something. The men that were killed in Indiana who never blew whistles, protested in the street, they were Amish men that were killed on that bus. Never protested out in the streets obstructing law enforcement. And they were killed. by illegal immigrants that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris let into the country. James Golden, Snerdley. We're coming right back. Fastest hour in American media. Do not go away.
Rush.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
By the way, there's been an arrest made for some imposter, somebody that wrote a phony ransom letter to the Guthrie family demanding a ransom in Bitcoin. A hoax. Now, there's another ransom note, I understand, from coverage in the Daily Mail, if you can believe it, that is being taken seriously. Before we go to the next break, Nancy Pelosi was speaking at the National Press Club. I want to play a little bit of it. She might be a little hard to hear because it sounds like she's being ignored by the audience.
Today we are again witnessing actions meant to chill the First Amendment, most fundamental freedoms. Let us be clear, attacks on journalism are attacks on the American people's right to know, and attempts to undermine a free press are attempts to undermine the Constitution and democracy itself. That is why tonight is not only a celebration, but is a reminder, a solemn reminder that we must protect and defend the freedom, and we must insist on the truth. Because America is in a crisis of conscience. We have a president who has crowned himself king, a Congress which has abolished itself, and a Supreme Court that has gone rogue. Our First Amendment, a free and independent press, the Fourth Estate, is essential to the survival of our republic.
Did you hear all that background stuff that was going on? People just totally ignored it. And no applause. I mean, she hit all the big applause line. He's declared himself king. They're supposed to be applauding. The Supreme Court has gone rogue. They're supposed to be applauding. Congress has abolished itself. No applause. Instead, all you hear, people, glasses clinking, people, bzz, 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 bzz. Yeah. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? What are you doing afterward? Hey, sweetie, you want to come home with me? All kind of stuff going on in that room, and nobody's listening to Nancy. James Golden, Snerdley. Fastest hour in American media continues. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
So if I see a freaking ICE agent coming up to my car without identifying himself with a mask, I will use my right to protect myself. And I will use deadly force if I have to. That's it. End of story. Period. Done.
Well, now we know where all the women have been. The women aren't going to end up in regular camps. They'll be in fertilization camps. Just as a reminder that nobody is safe.
Yes, my friend, the awfuls are out there. They go into fertilization camps. That's where all the women... We were told last week by one of the awfuls that they're being forced to marry, and now they're going to fertilization camps. What happens in a fertilization camp? On today's program, there is more. Carlos, big story that I wanted to get into yesterday. I was so excited. Not excited, wrong word. I was of the implications. When I saw the headline yesterday morning, it was the first thing that I texted, first story that I texted to Lady Benedict. and to Princess Diana. I'm on a joint text with both of them. Did you see this story? Now, Princess Diana and I haven't talked about this story yet. And I don't know if we'll have time to, but it is a huge story in the world of American media. The Washington Post, the Amazon Prime Washington Post, you know, Jeff Bezos bought the place and owns the place. The Washington Post has downsized. 1/3. I don't know. I just hit with a question. Lady Benedict, I don't think men can have babies in a fertilization camp, can they? Well, I don't know. Are they hoping? I got another one. This fertilization, play that woman again. That it's quick. That last woman.
Well, now we know where all the women have been. The women aren't going to end up in regular camps. We'll be in fertilization camps. Just as a reminder that nobody is safe.
So the women are going to be in the fertilization camps. How are they going to get fertilized? And who's doing the fertilizing? I mean, so if they're going to be fertilized, is it going to be, how shall I put this? Will it be a natural fertilization or an artificial fertilization? Will there be preservatives used? Live donors. Do people have the chance to volunteer to help with the fertilization? Is there a catalog? Can we look through the fertilization camp catalog and see? There are a lot of questions about this. If there are fertilization camps, how many women are there? Genetic markers? Are there genetic markers? Do they have those annoying septum rings in their noses when you're supposed to be trying to fertilize them? Because that could be a distraction. It could be a real big distraction. There are more questions with this, folks, than we have answers. And I want to know where are the fertilization camps going to be in warm climates? What do you mean, what is a woman? What, are we running for the Supreme Court here? Oh, Ketanji Brown. Did you know Ketanji Brown was at the Grammys? She was nominated for something, for some Grammy. Yeah. Who cares? I don't know. She may have won. I don't know. But Miranda Devine reporter with the New York Post, reported that she was applauding all of the anti-ICE activists as they were those political speeches that were being made. And so the question is, how can she claim to be objective if some of these things make it to the court? I have her calling right here. Miranda Devine, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson removed any shred of impartiality by applauding anti-ICE speeches at the Grammys. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson continues to dismay. Her attendance at the rancidly partisan anti-ICE Grammy Awards on Sunday was a joke. She was nominated for a Grammy for narrating the audiobook of her memoir, Lovely One, which she unashamedly believes herself to be. So she was laughing and clapping in the audience with a bunch of virtue-signaling lovies ranting F ICE every time they got on stage. How can she be seen as impartial? The answer is she can't. You didn't distract me. I didn't distract myself. I was talking about the Washington Post. The Washington Post. Folks, this is, for you, those of you that don't know, the Washington Post is a mega huge operation. It's not just some little, 300 or 400 reporters. That organization for the Washington Post is massive. The Washington Post has cut 1/3 of their workforce across the board in reportage. And boy, oh boy, it has stunned the entire and rocked the entire mainstream media world. Lady Benedict is texting me as we speak. I invited Lady Benedict on the show last week. She told me to go what they tell ICE to do to themselves, which is something that is anatomically impossible. Exclusive. Senator Blackburn demands probe. Ooh. She wants a probe of Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson for attending. Well, she was nominated. She should have attended. But her behavior there. She wants a probe. Now, personally, I don't want to probe her, even if she won a fertilization camp. But okay. So as I was saying, the Washington Post has laid off 1/3 of this. Is huge. It has stunned the entire media world. Cut 2. This apparently was outside the Washington Post headquarters today.
Hey, we do. Who makes the post? We do. Who makes the post? We do. Who makes the post? We do. Welcome, Ben Brash.
They were holding a protest. Who makes the post? We do. Well, apparently, you are using an incorrect grammatical structure for that. It's supposed to be who made the post. We did. Because apparently 1/3 of you are not making it anymore. And I'm not celebrating that, by the way. It's sad. And some of the Post reporters, cut 1, some of the Washington Post reporters are on social media talking about their experiences.
Hi, all. I'm taping this while it's a little raw, but I was laid off from the Washington Post today along with around 300 of my other colleagues. And it's a pretty expansive elimination of this paper that I think is really wonderful. And I have colleagues who are in Ukraine who are going to have to come back, colleagues who are in Jerusalem. We had a foreign editor quit because so much of his staff was decimated. And for our section, basically arts coverage that doesn't involve Trump has been eliminated. So really no arts reporters, no critics. There's just a few left. My whole section, which is features, was decimated. So I don't know, pour a beer out for us. I'm still in Park City where I was taking a couple days off.
All right, she goes on, but she goes on a hopeful note that she's going to try to pursue her dreams. She's got some dreams of things she wants to do. And look, you know me, folks. I don't celebrate anybody losing their job. It's a painful experience. But mainstream media being what it was, I'm telling you, this one is rocking the entire media world of the left. They can't believe what's happening. And some of them are they're blaming Jeff Bezos because the Washington Post didn't endorse Kamala Harris, is their take. Okay, we had a lot on Chuck Schumer claiming that we played it yesterday, but there's a lot more to it today in reaction to him claiming that not voting for the SAVE Act is because it's Jim Crow 2.0. There are a lot of discussions going on with that. He even got called out for it on PMS NBC, PMS Now of all places. Cut 5 really quickly. Listen to this crap.
There's a new Pew Research poll that 95% of Republicans, but also 71% of Democrats like this idea. So why do you not?
It's Jim Crow 2.0. And I called it Jim Crow 2.0, and the right wing went nuts all over the internet. That's because they know it's true. What they're trying to do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting. For instance, if you change, you're a woman who got married and changed your last name, you won't be able to show ID and you'll be discriminated against. If you can't find a birth certificate or a proper ID, you'll be discriminated against. This is vicious and nasty. And I said to our Republican colleagues, it will not pass the Senate.
This is an insult to every black person in America. Chuck Schumer, Democrats think you're too stupid to have an ID. You're too stupid to learn how to get an ID so that you can vote. It is a straight up and up insult. By the way, there's another case that you may not have heard about. And this case should be getting a lot of attention in medical circles. CBS reported on this on their new Cut 3. And here is a case that is not getting a least.
In a legal first, a jury in New York awarded a 22-year-old woman $2 million in damages over her gender transition surgery that took place when she was a teenager. The plaintiff accused her psychologist and plastic surgeon of violating standard practices in their fields that led to her receiving a gender transition double mastectomy that she feels left her disfigured. Benjamin Ryan wrote about the first malpractice verdict against providers of gender-affirming care for minors for the Free Press. He was the only reporter to attend the entire 3-week trial. We should note Paramount, the parent company of CBS News, owns the Free Press. For more on this, Benjamin joins us now here in Studio 57. He is an independent reporter who covers youth gender medicine, including on his Substack. So, Benjamin, let's go ahead and talk about the verdict itself. What stood out to you about the jury's reasoning here?
Well, it's hard to know exactly what they were thinking, but what they were convinced by was that the psychologist and the plastic surgeon didn't communicate well with one another, and the psychologist in particular was faulted for being sloppy and essentially being rushed in his care of this girl. It was only about 11 months between the time where she first socially transitioned at the age of 15 and a half, and she ultimately had her breasts removed at age 16 and a half.
What do you think that this verdict will mean for future lawsuits of this kind?
Well, I've certainly spoken with other litigators, other lawyers in this field, and they do feel that this will embolden others to join the field. Others have been waiting on the sidelines. So there are about 27 other similar cases that I've been able to tabulate. Some of them run into statutes of limitations where there's a short period of time after which you can file a lawsuit. But there's one coming up in Missouri in August, and also very big one, Chloe Cole, probably the most famous detransitioner. Her trial against Kaiser Permanente will be in California in April.
What was it like in the courtroom?
It was very powerful. I think in particular, we've heard a lot about this talk about suicide, about that these treatments and surgeries prevent suicide. And to hear this mother to say that she was opposed to the surgery from the start, that she was browbeaten by the psychologist, in her words, and to ultimately consenting even though she never wanted it. And then we heard from Dr. Lauren Schechter, and he's the head of gender-affirming surgery at Rush University in Chicago. And he said he's also, by the way, the president-elect of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. And he said that these surgeries are not suicide prevention. So that was a very powerful moment.
And we should mention also that it is a very small number of people who do end up detransitioning, right?
The numbers are unknown. Maybe 5 to 10%, but there's not enough research for us to really be able to tell at this time.
Okay, we got it, because I want to get one more. Folks, this is big. And did you hear the thing that's most amazing? After all the stuff about gender stuff at the beginning of their report, what do they say? He was the only one reporter to be there for the whole trial. The mainstream press didn't even send reporters to cover this. That's just pretty amazing. Daily Mail has an article today, let's see, Rosa Parks, New York City. This is I don't even know how to describe this. In New York City, they have apparently put a reserved seating. It's a big cardboard displayed that goes on a seat, and it has a picture of Rosa Parks, and it says that this seat is reserved for Rosa Parks in honor of Black History Month. And so it's a whole seat. It's taped on the seat as a yellow thing reserved, so nobody can sit in the seat. And it's not going over well. People want to be able to sit on the buses, which, by the way, are still not free, despite all the promises that were made. James Golden, Snerdley, back with you. Don't go away. Fastest hour in American media continues.
Rush. This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now, here's James Golden.
I am personally offended by what was presented on so many different levels. One thing I would like to see updated is the word homeless to unhoused. I'm not done.
Can I just don't want Mr. Berman for this to be on him. That's the way our state of California, that's the language that they use.
That woman that was personally offended, folks, is the vice president. Her name is Joy Flynn of the Pajero Valley Unified School Board. She's offended over the word homeless. They should be called unhoused. Just like people that are brainless should be called unbrained. Birthday today for Barrett Strong. First artist to record a hit for Motown, wrote many Motown hits, including this one, War, Ball of Confusion, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Heavenly birthday. We got to go. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me. See you next time. Adios. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.